Hi, my name's Sonjia and this is my channel, See It Then, See It Now. This one doesn't need a big introduction. You've seen the bells, you've seen the lantern, let's see them put together into the wreath. This hula hoop has been kicking around the garage for years and is most definitely surplus to requirements. I have a broken Christmas tree which I've been tying up for the last couple of Christmases, each year thinking next year I'll replace that, and then the year after I really do need to replace that. So when a friend of mine was selling hers after Christmas last year, I jumped at the chance to finally sort a replacement. So naturally, when you have an unwanted hula hoop and a broken Christmas tree, the obvious thing to do is to turn them into a huge wreath for the local pub. Okay, fair enough, maybe that's just me, but it's better than sending them to landfill. The hoop was a little bit too big, so I cut a section out and I used wire to connect the two ends. I put holes at each side and threaded the wire through and pulled the wire and twisted it to close the gap. I then repeated the process and put the wire through again just for extra strength. I wrapped the excess wire around the hoop and then, just for good measure, I covered the wire with some floral tape. Next, I needed to attach the branches. I used Gorilla Glue, wire and floral tape to do this, and I made sure that one of those branches was secured over the top of that cut section of the hoop, just as an extra fail-safe to make sure that that wasn't going to come apart. So I glued a section of the branches to the hoop. I wrapped wire around to hold it in place, and then I wrapped floral tape around the wire just as a little extra security. I continued this all the way around until I had the hoop completely covered, making sure that I had the branches all pointing in the same direction. Once complete, I turned the wreath over and, using some Gorilla Glue and some hot glue, I used branches to cover the hula hoop. Now for the fun part, we get to make it look pretty, and I started by attaching these beautiful bells to the top of the wreath. These bells used to look like this, and if you want to see how I transformed them, I will link the video in the description. I attached them with wire and then I secured the bows with wire and glue. I decided to put lights on the wreath. It's going in a darker area of the pub and I think it'll look extra pretty all lit up. I've never added lights to a wreath before, and I didn't want to just put all the lights on first because I didn't want them to end up hidden behind what goes on after. So I decided to segment the lights off into quarters so that I'd have a similar number of lights for each quarter of the wreath. So to find halfway, I put the two ends together, I followed the wire down until I reached the halfway point, and I placed a piece of masking tape on the wire as a marker. I then put the two ends and the masking tape together and followed the wire down again, and that gave me my quarter markers, which I also marked with masking tape. That was after I painstakingly spent an age untangling these lights. I don't know what I did because they were new out of the packet, but somehow I managed to get them so tangled and I ended up stopping the camera, and it took me absolutely such a long time to untangle them. I can't believe how knotted up I got them. It was ridiculous, but luckily you don't have to watch that bit. I secured the lights to the wreath with wire, making sure that the lights were pointing forward, and I spaced them out evenly down the wreath and I used the first quarter of the lights down the first quarter of the wreath. I then started adding all the pretty flowers, baubles and other embellishments to the wreath, and once I had a section of these done, I added the lights, making sure that they were all showing and in between everything, and being extra careful not to catch the wires with any hot glue. I don't know if hot glue would affect the wire, but just to be on the safe side, I was extra careful. I really wanted to put a lantern on this wreath, but the problem with that was that I wouldn't be able to just glue it on, because you'd need to be able to access the bottom to change the batteries and turn the lantern on and off. So I decided that I would put the lantern on and attach it with a piece of chain, so the chain would secure it, but then I made that little well in the wreath just so that the lantern could sit in the well. You could still access the underneath part, but the chain would actually be what secures it as well. At this point, I wasn't 100% sure whether this was going to work. I was like, well, we'll attach it with some chain and it'll be okay. And I really wanted to put the lantern on, so I was really hoping that I would be able to attach it. And my thought process was, worst case scenario, I'll have to give the lantern up and just put some embellishments where I've just made that little well. I could have got around it if I couldn't get the lantern thing to work, but I really was hell-bent on getting the lantern in there. The lantern is yet another one of my transformations, and it started off looking like this. So if you would like to see how I transform that into the beautiful lantern that it now is, then I will link that video in the description box too. Making something for the Georgian dragon seems to have become a bit of a yearly thing, and this year it was a real challenge to come up with something. They have a lot of really beautiful decorations already, and it was I was really I don't know what to do, but I looked around and I saw this section of red brick wall and just decided that a wreath would look really lovely there. They also have this bicycle that they've got covered in lights, and that sits against that red brick wall as well, and I just thought the two would really complement each other. At the time of doing this voiceover though, I haven't actually seen what it looks like in situ. I'm looking forward to seeing this wreath on that wall. Now let's sit back and watch the rest of it get built up. Let's have a reminder and see it then. And let's see it now. How amazing does this look? I absolutely love how it turned out, and in the first couple of hours of this wreath being up in the Georgian Dragon, the girls got 3 comments on how amazing it looked, so that to me makes it a winner. But let me know what you think in the comments. I do a Christmas craft for the Georgian Dragon every year. If you haven't seen the last 2 that I did, then do go check those out. I wonder what I'm going to do for them next year. That's going to be a real ponder, that one, because it's getting more and more difficult as each year goes by. But anyway, that's one for future. In the meantime, what have I got coming? So the live candle bauble centerpiece thing that I did, that's going to come into you very soon. But before that, I do have an editor challenge to bring to you, and it's looking absolutely amazing. I can't wait to share it with you. So basically, one of my viewers, Lola, kindly gave Becky, my editor, a broken lamp. And said, do you think Sonia can do something with that? So Becky has set me the challenge of coming up with something to do with said broken lamp. And I've come up with something, and the lamp is now fixed. I got the supervisor involved with fixing the lamp, but it just looks amazing, and I can't wait to share it with you. So if you don't want to miss out on that, then do make sure that you're subscribed and hit that notification bell so you know when that's coming out. Also, you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram. I do post on there to let you know that there's videos coming out too. You can also follow me on Pinterest, and I think that covers everything, and I just can't wait. So I'm going to jump straight back into more crafting, and I'll see you very soon in the next one. Bye. I'm so nervous right now.
Oh no. I'm so thirsty right now.
God, that's phenomenal, Sonjia. Oh, Sonjia. That's amazing. That's really good. I don't know why you were nervous for that. No, that's well good. It's really nice. It's like you bought it. Oh my God. Oh, that is really nice. I love it. Thank you so much.